Did you know that in Mauritania there is an exclusive market for divorced women? That's right. But that's just the beginning of the surprising traditions and contrasts of this fascinating country. From unique cultural practices, like forcing girls to gain weight to meet a beauty ideal, to being home to the world's largest ship cemetery, Mauritania is a place that defies all expectations. Can you imagine what it would be like to explore a land where every corner tells a story so different from anything you know? Today, I invite you to discover incredible facts about Mauritania that will completely change your perspective and make you question everything you thought you knew about this enigmatic country. Are you ready to embark on this journey of wonder and learning? If you're passionate about exploring the unknown and discovering fascinating cultures like this one, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Join us on this adventure to continue discovering the most extraordinary corners of the world. Number 1. Market for divorced women. In Mauritania, the market for divorced women is a unique place where those who have been through several marriages seek a new opportunity to marry. Unlike many other cultures where divorce may be accompanied by social stigma, here it is celebrated and seen as an enriching experience. Divorced women are valued for their maturity, wisdom, and experience, qualities that make them highly desirable companions. Interestingly, previous marriages are not seen as a barrier. On the contrary, they are considered an added attraction. Many men in Mauritania prefer to seek a wife among these experienced women, rather than choosing someone who has never been married. This has led the country to have one of the highest divorce rates in the world, with cases where some women have married as many as 20 times throughout their lives. Divorce here is not only accepted but, in some contexts, openly celebrated. It is common for a divorced woman to publicly announce her new availability to marry, marking a new beginning in her life. This approach contrasts sharply with the perspectives of other cultures, where divorce may be a source of shame. In Mauritanian society, however, it represents a renewed opportunity and a testament to resilience and autonomy. Number 2. The world's largest ship cemetery. On the outskirts of Nouadhibou, the second largest city in Mauritania, lies one of the most unusual and fascinating landscapes in the world, the largest ship cemetery on the planet. Here, over 300 vessels, from small fishing boats to colossal freighters, rest abandoned along the shores, creating a scene both striking and melancholic. This phenomenon began in the 1980s when a deep economic crisis led local authorities to allow both national and foreign companies to leave their ships without paying the corresponding fees. Over time, this practice became uncontrollable, transforming the area into a vast and strange landscape of stranded ships. Each new vessel that arrived added to this massive cemetery, creating a scene that seems to come straight out of a surreal dream. However, what some might see as just a desolate and forgotten place, the local inhabitants view as an unexpected source of resources. Fishermen and residents of Nouadhibou have found ingenious ways to make use of this sea of metal. They dismantle the ships to sell the metal or reuse parts for various needs, turning what seemed like mere scrap into an invaluable opportunity to make a living. This peculiar cemetery, far from being a lifeless space, is a reflection of human resilience and creativity, where survival transforms abandonment into an act of ingenuity and hope. Number 3. Camps to fatten girls. In Mauritania, one of the most surprising and controversial customs is the practice of fattening girls from a young age. In some regions, families follow a cultural tradition known as le bleu, which aims to rapidly increase the weight of girls in order to achieve a more robust body, considered a symbol of beauty, fertility, and social success. From an early age, girls are fed a high-calorie diet, including camel milk and millet, with the goal of achieving a figure that is seen as an ideal in Mauritanian society. In extreme cases, they are forced to drink up to 20 liters of milk a day. Some families that adopt this practice even send their daughters to fattening farms, where they are helped to reach what is considered the ideal weight. For certain groups, this weight can be around 100 kilos, while other families aim for up to 150 kilos. The underlying belief is clear. The more weight, the higher the woman's value in society and her desirability for marriage. Although this practice has started to decline in urban areas, it remains widespread in rural regions, where the tradition still has a strong influence. However, the negative health effects for these girls are alarming, as many suffer from serious diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, and heart problems from a young age. Despite the risks, many families continue to see this sacrifice as a necessary step to ensure social success and a prosperous marital future for their daughters. Number 4. The longest train in the world. Known as the Train of Life, this imposing giant is the longest train in the world, stretching over 2.5 kilometers in length and consisting of more than 200 wagons. Every day, it travels across the vast expanse of Mauritania, from the iron mines in Zerat to the port of Nouadhibou, crossing a scorching desert for approximately 700 kilometers. Its pace is slow, taking more than 20 hours, as it transports tons of iron ore. However, what makes it even more astonishing is that, in addition to being a freight transport, it also carries passengers. Despite not having air-conditioned carriages, thousands of people climb aboard the freight wagons, enduring the harsh conditions of the journey. Travelers face extreme heat, dust, and strong winds, in addition to the constant struggle to find space among mountains of iron ore. Some improvise shelters with blankets or shield themselves from the sun and sand in any way possible. The journey is free for those daring enough to embark on it. But the conditions are inhumane. At times, the train may stop for hours in the middle of the desert, leaving passengers exposed to both the unbearable heat of the day and the penetrating cold of the night. Despite the difficulties, for many Mauritanians, this train is the only viable option to travel between the various regions of the country. Through its freight wagons, people not only transport minerals, but also carry their hopes and dreams on a journey full of challenges, yet essential for their survival and mobility in such an extensive and desert-like country. Number 5. 90% of the country is desert. Mauritania is a country of vast dimensions, but what truly stands out is that 90% of its territory is covered by the imposing Sahara Desert. This means that only a small 10% of the country is considered habitable, forcing its population to face and adapt to extremely harsh conditions. Daily life is marked by suffocating heat, water scarcity, and constant sandstorms that seem relentless. Endless sand dunes stretch farther than the eye can see, while temperatures frequently exceed 50 degrees Celsius, making the environment almost unbearable. Additionally, the wind, known locally as jatan, not only carries sand and dust with every gust, but also severely hampers access to vital resources such as water and vegetation. Sandstorms, in turn, present an even greater challenge. With impressive intensity, they can bury entire villages in a matter of minutes, and in some cases, these communities vanish under mountains of sand, further reducing the already limited habitable space in the country. Despite these adversities, Mauritanians have shown an incredible capacity for resilience, adapting to this extreme environment and finding ways to survive in a landscape that would be inhospitable to many. Mauritania faces one of the lowest life expectancies in the world, with an average of just 62 years. This concerning figure reflects the adverse conditions faced by much of its population. In rural areas, many families must travel long distances to reach a healthcare facility, which, in many cases, lacks the basic resources to provide adequate care. Malaria, tuberculosis, and other preventable diseases remain common, while malnutrition severely affects thousands of people, especially children, who are the most vulnerable. Moreover, the lack of proper infrastructure, coupled with difficulties in accessing food and clean drinking water, further exacerbates the situation. These challenges make daily life a constant struggle for survival, facing one of the most hostile environments on the planet. The combination of these factors highlights the urgent need for interventions that can improve the quality of life and bring hope to the most affected communities. Number 7. Strange dishes. Mauritanian cuisine is a reflection of its unique culture, with dishes that may seem unusual or even shocking to many. One of the most representative is tig, a stew made with camel meat, considered a true delicacy during festivities and special events. Although uncommon in other parts of the world, camel meat is an essential food for Mauritanians, symbolizing tradition and abundance. Another notable dish is chagin, a fish and rice stew that surprises with the use of parts of the fish, such as heads and bones, which are discarded elsewhere. This practice highlights the ingenuity and respect for available resources in the country. Additionally, traditional drinks play an important role in the daily diet. Camel or goat milk, either fresh or fermented, is combined with millet to create a thick porridge commonly served for breakfast or dinner, providing energy and nutrition. The Mauritanian culinary philosophy is based on making the most of everything they have at their disposal. In some regions, even the consumption of earth, believed to have medicinal properties, is part of their dietary beliefs and customs. This cuisine not only satisfies hunger, but also tells stories of resilience, tradition, and connection to the environment. Number 8. The last country in the world to abolish slavery. Mauritania has a dark legacy in the fight against slavery, being the last country to officially abolish it in 1981. However, it wasn't until 2007 that this practice was made a criminal offense, marking an important but late step toward its eradication. Despite these measures, slavery persists in various regions of the country, where thousands of people still live in conditions of servitude, receiving no salary and lacking fundamental rights. The primary victims of this situation are the Haratin, an ethnic group historically trapped in an endless cycle of oppression. For generations, they have been forced to work as shepherds, farmers, and domestic servants, with no possibility of escaping these inhumane conditions. Even today, in certain areas of Mauritania, there are underground markets where people are traded as if they were material goods. These horrific acts reflect the deep inequality and the challenges the country faces in completely eradicating this practice. The fight against modern slavery in Mauritania requires not only laws, but also a cultural and social change that will allow for the liberation and dignification of all its citizens. Number 9. 99% of the country is Muslim. Mauritania stands out as one of the most devout countries in Islam, with 99% of its population practicing this religion. Islam is not only a spiritual pillar, but also defines the way people live their daily lives. From clothing style to celebrations and family traditions, every aspect of life in Mauritania is deeply influenced by Islamic faith. This connection between religion and daily life extends even to the legal sphere. Mauritanian laws are fully aligned with Islamic principles, to the extent that those who choose to abandon the Muslim faith are punishable by death. This approach reinforces the centrality of Islam in the country's cultural and social identity, making it clear that religion is much more than a spiritual practice. It's the foundation that shapes the entire structure of the nation. Number 10. Mint tea is a religion. In Mauritania, mint tea is not just a beverage, but a deeply rooted cultural symbol, almost sacred in nature. Drinking tea is a ritual that brings people together, uniting families and friends around a moment of relaxation and companionship. Its consumption is so frequent that it is not unusual for Mauritanians to enjoy 10 to 12 cups a day. The tea ritual follows a tradition of 3 rounds, each with deep meaning. The first cup, strong and bitter, represents life with all its hardships. The second is sweeter, symbolizing love and human relationships. Finally, the third, the sweetest of all, embodies death, closing the cycle of existence. Refusing a cup of tea is considered impolite, as this moment is not just for drinking, but for sharing stories, reflecting, and strengthening bonds. If you ever visit Mauritania, Be prepared to enjoy this unique ceremony, because mint tea is not just consumed, it is lived as a tradition that no one can overlook. Number 11. Mauritania is a nomadic country. Mauritania, with 90% of its territory covered by the vast Sahara Desert, remains one of the few countries where the nomadic lifestyle persists. For centuries, Mauritanians have faced this extreme environment, constantly moving in search of water and pastures for their herds of camels, goats, and sheep. This way of life, passed down from generation to generation, has been crucial for survival in one of the harshest climates on the planet. Although today a large part of the population has adopted a sedentary lifestyle, about 20% of Mauritanians still lead a nomadic life. These communities move according to the season and availability of resources, following the same routes their ancestors once traced through the desert. The journeys are typically made in groups, usually on foot or by camel, and often begin at dawn or dusk to avoid the extreme daytime heat. When they find a suitable location, they set up their hajmas, traditional tents that serve as temporary shelters until they must move again in search of better conditions. This lifestyle not only reflects a deep connection to their environment, but also stands as a testament to their resilience and adaptability in the face of the desert's challenges. Number 12. Collaborating with dolphins to catch fish. In Mauritania, dolphins, known for their intelligence and sociable nature, play an astonishing role in fishing. These incredible marine mammals work with local fishermen, herding fish close to the shore and making it easier for the nets to catch large quantities more efficiently. This unique symbiosis between humans and dolphins is just one of the wonders that make Mauritania a fascinating place. Additionally, the country is one of the few in the world that combines contrasting landscapes such as the vast Sahara Desert and an extensive Atlantic coastline, a feature it shares only with Namibia. This geographic diversity makes it a truly unique destination. If this fact surprises you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to discover more amazing stories from around the world. What caught your attention most about Mauritania? Leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video.